We have some bad Xbox news here today, unfortunately, but we got to talk about it. And also, a new game has been announced, one that I'm extremely excited for. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another brand new Major Ben Gaming video here on the channel. We've got a few topics here to talk about today. If you do enjoy this video though, please do consider subscribing to the channel and pressing that bell icon and liking the video if you do enjoy it as well. If not, please go down to the comment section. Let me know what I can do to improve my content. And I'm always, listening, trying to improve and do better for you guys. So without further ado, let's get into the topics of this video. So recently, or yesterday, I should say, we heard that Microsoft is going to be raising prices on their new first-party games built for Series X and S, and this is going to be to that $70 price tag in 2023 that we all hate on the PlayStation consoles at this time. That's where we're at. But to be honest, this is just really, really disappointing news. This is going to be games like Forza Motorsport, Redfall, and Starfield will all be $70 at launch. There's a few things I want to say as to why those games in particular should not be $70. But I think this whole thing is just really disappointing that Microsoft is following suit with Sony. Just because Sony's doing it doesn't mean that Microsoft should be doing it as well. In fact, Microsoft is very behind. They've had a very bad Xbox One generation, and they need to be doing things, not anti-consumer things, that are going to help improve our opinions of the Xbox brand. Because as much as I love Xbox, it's my preferred platform, this is not good. This is bad. Like, just doing the same as Sony for the sake of doing the same as Sony when they've had record-breaking profits there at Xbox is something that just should not happen. It does not need to happen. And development is actually easier than it's ever been before. Obviously, there's more features like ray tracing that need to be included, but a lot of games aren't even doing that on the Xbox platform. The only thing that does make this better is Game Pass. Having that option to just carry on subscribing for these games, it actually makes Game Pass almost better value. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons they're actually doing this, is showing, oh, our games are at £70, or $70. This pushes you now to go and get Game Pass. It's more of a reason to go out and get Game Pass for your £10.99 or $15 or whatever it is in the US, for all these games, rather than having to go out and pay $70 for each title. But it still is just not good. That shouldn't be a reason. There are a lot of people who don't want a monthly subscription. They just want to buy the odd game, like the odd Microsoft game. Some Sony fans who primarily play on PlayStation don't subscribe to Game Pass. They just want to go out and buy Halo, or they want to go out and buy Forza on their platform. And this is even worse. If you're paying the same price, the same $70 price for an Xbox Series S version as well, a less superior 30 frames version, when, they're not going to, that's a budget console. It's there for a reason. And Game Pass should not be just a reason for that. Like, it's not an excuse to start pricing titles like this. And going back to the thing I was saying earlier, someone actually pointed out on Twitter, so shout out to, it was Kirby Louise, at Kirby Zero Louise, said this, one more thing, Starfield, Redfall, and FM8, Forza Motorsport 8, must go back to $60. Those were meant to be 2022 games, but had delays. And I fully agree. I did not think about that until I read that tweet, so thank you. But yeah, that's so true. Those games were meant to release this year. First of all, we're meant to have them this year, which you've let us down on that, Microsoft. Obviously, development time is important, but get your dates a bit more in hand. Like, at least with Sony, they announced Wolverine, but they don't give a date because they know that they can move that around depending on how development's going. But Microsoft, you just promise us dates out of the air, very often don't seem to meet those dates. I know things were different in the last few years, but the point is, those games did not come this year, and now you're putting an extra $10 on each of those games, or £10 here in the UK, which is more than $10, on each of those games. It's ridiculous. Like, it's just completely wrong. I mean, I'm going to be using Game Pass because I don't see the point in paying that much. These games will stay on Game Pass too, because they're obviously first-party exclusive games. But still, this is just not acceptable. But it is very lucky that we do have Game Pass to kind of soften that blow a little bit, so we don't have to, pay that ridiculous price. It's outrageous. And I know a lot of people on Twitter who were just simply saying they're not going to buy games first party anymore. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of money. It's overpriced, especially when you have Game Pass, as I keep saying. It's just a better way to do things. But on to the next topic of this video today. I just wanted to touch on that because that's, I think, was important. But we have had news that Jedi Fallen Survivors, a game that I am so excited about, is going to be appearing at the Game Awards this year, which is fantastic news. I can't wait to see what this game looks like. Man, on my Xbox Series X, this thing is going to look phenomenal. But not only yesterday did we have the kind of announcement that they're going to be talking about it, we actually had a Steam leakage of the Steam page for this game, which has a release date set for March the 15th, 2023 for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Survivor, or Jedi Survivor, whatever you call it. This is awesome. Very early next year. We have got so many games to play next year, especially for Xbox users, with obviously Starfield and Redfall jumbled in there too, and potentially Stalker 2 there as well. That with Hogwarts Legacy, obviously that's everyone, but Hogwarts Legacy in the early part of the years. Obviously now Jedi Fallen Survivor in the first part of the years. Like, it's insane how many games we're going to have. But there's a whole page, a load of stuff that talks about what the game's going to be about. I'll put clips on screen for you guys, but talking about continuing Cal's journey as he's no longer a Padawan. There's little bits of story stuff there that tells you where it's going to be set and what you're going to be doing. They also show the pre-purchase items that you can get with the Deluxe edition, for example, and the standard edition of the game as well. So a lot of information there. But to be honest, this is so exciting because, as I said, this is one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I love Star Wars. First of all, I love the films, I love the games, and this was probably my favorite ever Star Wars game, even above The Force Unleashed and various games like that. I've always loved this first game, and I've replayed it, I think, 3 times, and I might actually just go back and play it just before this one launches, depending on how much stuff, because as I said, there's so much coming out that the earlier part of next year. But again, this is fantastic news. The listing's not up on Xbox. I mean, the listing has been removed from Steam as far as I'm aware. I don't think that's something that's still available, but let me know if I'm incorrect on that. I'm actually going to quickly read a little bit of the thing that I was talking about. So it says, the story of Cal Kestis continues in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a third-person galaxy-spanning action-adventure game from Respawn Entertainment, developed in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games. This narratively driven single-player title picks up 5 years after the events of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and follows Cal's increasingly desperate fight as the galaxy descends further into darkness. Pushing to the edge of the galaxy by the Empire, Cal will find himself surrounded by threats new and familiar. That's interesting. I guess we're going to have some familiar types. As one of the last surviving Jedi Knights, Cal is driven to make a stand during the galaxy's darkest times, but how far is he willing to go to protect himself, his crew, and the legacy of the Jedi Order? Sounds amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on this, guys. But that's all I've got for today's video. I hope you enjoy these kind of videos. Let me know what I can do to improve them down below. I'm always looking to improve. As I said at the start of this video, please let me know what I can do better, because I do want to make my content as good for you guys as possible. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. See you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.